Greetings, this is KYC News. I respectfully request that you stay with me. In a naval milestone, China unveils a high-tech aircraft carrier. A Dutch agency intervened to prevent a Russian spy from working at the ICC. In a naval milestone, China unveils a high-tech aircraft carrier. Beijing unveiled a new generation aircraft carrier on Friday, the first of its kind to be planned and built in China, marking a watershed moment in the country's efforts to expand its navy's range and might. According to official media reports, the Type 003 carrier named Fujian departed its dry dock at a shipyard outside Shanghai in the morning and tied up at a nearby pier. As water jets poured over the big ship's deck, multicolored streamers fluttered, and multicolored smoke was discharged. State broadcaster CCTV showed assembled Navy troops standing beneath it. The Type 003 ship's capabilities are considered to equal those of Western carriers, with the newest armament and aircraft launch technology, as Beijing strives to transform its navy, which is now the world's largest, into a multi-carrier force. The carrier was seen in what seemed to be a fully submerged dry dock at the Jiangnan shipyard outside Shanghai, according to satellite imagery captured by Planet Labs PBC on Thursday and analyzed by the Associated Press. It was festooned with crimson bunting, apparently in anticipation of the launch. This is a significant milestone for China's military-industrial complex, said Rizwan Ramath, a defense intelligence analyst with Janes in Singapore. This demonstrates that Chinese engineers can now produce the entire range of surface combatants associated with modern naval warfare, including corvettes, frigates, destroyers, amphibious assault ships, and now an aircraft carrier, he said. The ability to create a very sophisticated warship from the ground up will certainly result in a variety of benefits and spin-offs for the Chinese shipbuilding sector. The first Chinese carrier was a recycled Soviet vessel, and the second was built in China but based on a Soviet design. Both were designed to use a ski jump form of aircraft launch, using a ramp at the end of the short runway. The Type 003 uses a catapult launch system, which analysts believe is an electromagnetic type device similar to one developed by the US Navy. In a report on Friday's launch, China's official Xinhua news agency stated that the Fujian used the electromagnetic technique. Such a technique puts less stress on the aircraft than older steam-type catapult launch systems, and using a catapult allows the ship to launch a wider range of aircraft, which is important for China to project naval force over a longer distance, according to Ramath. In addition to external fuel tanks, these catapults allow planes to carry a larger load of armaments, Ramath remarked. Once fully operational, the plan's third carrier will be able to deploy a more complete suite of aircraft involved with carrier strike group operations, including carrier onboard cargo transport and airborne early warning and control airframes, such as the KJ-600, according to the statement. For more than a decade, China's People's Liberation Army Navy, or PLAN, has been modernizing to become more of a blue water force, capable of operating globally rather than just near to the Chinese mainland. At the same time, the United States has been focusing more on the region, particularly the South China Sea. 6 states claim all or part of the strategically important canal, which transports an estimated $5 trillion in global trade each year and has rich but rapidly dwindling fishing stocks as well as major underwater oil and gas deposits, causing tensions in the huge marine region. China has been by far the most assertive in claiming almost the whole waterway, as well as its island characteristics and resources. The US Navy has sailed warships past Chinese-built artificial islands in the water, complete with airstrips and other military infrastructure. China claims the islands as part of its territory, but the US Navy claims the missions are carried out to ensure the free flow of international trade. The Carrier Development Program, according to the Department of Defense's report to Congress last year on China's military capabilities, is critical to the Chinese Navy's continued development into a global force, gradually extending its operational reach beyond East Asia into a sustained ability to operate at increasingly longer ranges. The Defense Department stated that China's aircraft carriers and projected follow-on carriers, once operational, will extend air defense coverage beyond the range of coastal and shipboard missile systems and enable task group operations at increasingly greater ranges. China has strengthened its footprint in the Indian Ocean, the Western Pacific, and beyond in recent years, establishing its first overseas base in the African Horn nation of Djibouti, where the US, Japan, and others all have military bases. It also recently struck a security deal with the Solomon Islands, which many fear may give it a foothold in the South Pacific, and is working with Cambodia to construct a port facility that will give it access to the Gulf of Thailand. The Fujian, which has hull number 18, has a fully laden displacement of 80,000 tons, according to Xinhua. Analysts indicated that satellite photographs suggest the Type 003's displacement was around 100,000 tons, similar to that of U.S. Navy carriers, in a March report issued by the U.S. Congressional Research Service. The plan now has 355 ships, including submarines, and the U.S. forecasts that by 2025 and 2030, the force will have grown to 420 ships and 460 ships, respectively. Despite possessing the world's greatest fleet in terms of numbers, the plan currently lacks the capability of the U.S. Navy and lags behind in carrier operations. With 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, the U.S. Navy leads the world in aircraft carriers. It also possesses 9 amphibious assault ships that can transport helicopters and fighter jets with vertical takeoffs. Allies of the United States, such as the United Kingdom and France, have their own carriers, while Japan has 4 helicopter destroyers, which are technically not aircraft carriers but do carry aircraft. 2 of them are being adapted to support fighters that take off and land vertically. After naming its first 2 carriers after the provinces of Liaoning and Shandong, China's next carrier was named after the Fujian province on the country's southeastern coast. Xu Qiliang, a member of the ruling Communist Party's Politburo and deputy chairman of the Central Military Commission led by President and party leader Xi Jinping, presided over the shipyard's launch ceremony. According to Xinhua, a bottle of champagne was smashed across the Fujian's bow when Su cut the ribbon for the launch. The ship moved out into the ocean and docked at its pier when the drydock doors were opened. China's Type 003 carrier development is part of a larger military modernization effort. China has approached the creation of aircraft carriers with caution, as it has done with its space program, preferring to use only tested and polished technologies. According to Rameth, China does not appear to have the aircraft needed to fully utilize the new carrier's capabilities. It's unclear how near China is to readying its KJ-600 AWACS aircraft for carrier operations, which it began testing in 2020, and there's limited evidence it started work on ship-on-board delivery transport aircraft, he said. The carrier will need to be outfitted now that it has been launched, which might take 2 to 6 months. Following that, engineers will conduct harbor acceptance and sea trials, which will likely take another 6 months before engineers begin launching test cargoes using the catapult system. The first aircraft will likely be launched from this carrier in late 2023 or early 2024, he added, adding that complete operational capability will likely be declared closer to 2025. This article was co-authored by John Gambrell in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and Mari Yamaguchi in Tokyo. Rising temperatures have been observed in Bangkok. A Dutch agency intervened to prevent a Russian spy from working at the ICC. A cunning attempt by a Russian spy to work as an intern at the International Criminal Court, which is probing charges of Russian war crimes in Ukraine, was stopped by a Dutch intelligence agency on Thursday. The Netherlands General Intelligence and Security Service claimed the 36-year-old man, identified as Sergei Vladimirovich Cherkasov, worked for Russia's secretive GRU agency and attempted to get entrance to the International Criminal Court in The Hague under the alias Victor Muller Ferreira. If the intelligence officer had succeeded in gaining entry to the ICC as an intern, he would have been able to gather intelligence there, hunt for, or recruit, sources, and arrange access to the ICC's computer systems, according to the Dutch agency. In that case, he would have been able to contribute significantly to the intelligence sought by the GRU. He may have also been able to influence ICC criminal proceedings. According to the CIA, it discovered his identity in April and warned the Netherlands Immigration Authority that he was a national security concern. In April, the intelligence officer was denied admission into the Netherlands and judged ineligible on these grounds. On the first aircraft out, he was deported back to Brazil, the agency, which goes by the abbreviation AIVD, added. It didn't say how it uncovered the spy's identity. In March, ICC prosecutor Karim Khan launched an inquiry into Russian military accused of war crimes in Ukraine. The court is also looking into suspected crimes committed during the 2008 Russo-Georgian War, and 3 men serving in the Russian-backed self-declared Republic of South Ossetia have been handed arrest warrants. Thank you for your time and consideration. Please join our channel as a subscriber.